I'm Dr. George Wamukoya. I'm the team leader of the African group of Negotiators Expert Support who lead the negotiations on agriculture, but I'm also the lead spokesperson for the G77 and China, which is 134 member states, which is the biggest bloc in the climate change negotiations. The next steps for agriculture leading to COP28 is very, very important because one, for the first time now, we were able to get a clear direction on the implementation of climate action on agriculture and food security. And we set out 8 objectives, which in another way you can say mandates. And so what countries are supposed to be doing, and particularly as Africa, will be making submission on the how to achieve those objectives. And that means that we want an institutional framework established within the climate change framework so that it can ensure that whatever actions and activities that are taken to address climate change, they do not threaten food production and food security. Secondly, we also agreed on having a kind of a portal, online portal. We want to make sure that the online portal that is established is one that can be used and useful to the smallholder farmers who are the majority in Africa. And that's why we want to hear more from the civil society organizations who are working with farmers as to what can work best, so that when we make our submission as Africa, we take into account those considerations. And then finally is the aspect of new topics as part of sharing knowledge. We want to hear from farmers and organizations that are working with farmers as to what those new areas are. And from what I've heard, not only here but also when we were in Sharm el-Sheikh, the aspect of agroecology as a practice seems to be becoming important in Africa. And I think it will be useful to hear from the experts as to what are those critical elements of agroecology that are appropriate for Africa given its climate risk and vulnerability. We have many ways by which the non-state actors like AFSA can participate. The first one is we encourage them because it's a network-based and many of their members are in different countries. Those members need to engage with the countries in which they operate in, especially with the ministries of agriculture and climate change, so that they can raise those important issues that need to be addressed. But also, secondly, at the continental level, we will be having our meeting which starts on 14th to 17th March in Nairobi, to prepare a common Africa position and also the Africa submission on the issues of agriculture. And we have invited AFSA, and we hope that when they do come, they will be able to share some very critical experiences. And then thirdly is that once we make the submission by 27th March, there will be a meeting of all parties in Bonn in June. And we hope that AFSA members will be able to attend that meeting so that we are able to negotiate together as to what will work for Africa. So there are many avenues that they can contribute, and we hope that we can walk this journey together so that we don't leave anyone behind.